Hello everyone, so today we're going to be talking about how to convert a fraction to a decimal. So I'm going to write that on the board here. Convert, let's see here. Convert fraction to decimal. So a fraction is something with a top number and a bottom number with a bar separating the two numbers, okay? A decimal is a number with a decimal point. Like, for example, 0.123, okay? So we're going to be going from this to this. Okay? So, alrighty. Now, 0.123 is not the decimal form for 2/7. I'm just illustrating what we're going from fraction form to decimal form, okay? All right, so the first fraction we're going to be looking at is, let's see here. The first example we're going to be looking at is 3/5, 3/5. Okay? So to set this up, we use what's called long division, okay? The top number is the dividend. So if we draw a division symbol, the top number goes inside the division symbol. All right. The bottom number goes outside the division symbol. Okay. So 3's on top, so 3 goes inside, and 5's on the bottom, so 5 goes outside. Okay. Okay, so now we think about, can 5 go into 3, or can we divide 3 by 5? Well, no, we can't, because 5 is bigger than 3, right? So 5 cannot go into 3. So 5 goes into 3 0 times, okay? So what we need to do is we need to create a decimal point after the 3. And then put that directly above on top as well. So the decimals have to line up, okay? And then we create a 0, like that. So now we think of it as 30 divided by 5, okay? 30 divided by 5 is 6, all right? Okay? And then we multiply the 6 times the 5. 6 times 5 is 30. We then subtract, and we get 0, okay? So because we got 0, we're done. We don't go any further. Once we get a remainder of 0, we're done. Okay. Remainder is 0. So 3/5 equals 0.6. Okay, 0.6. So that was a rather a more straightforward example. Let's do another example. Okay, I'm going to clear the board here. The next fraction we're going to be doing is 3/8, okay? So again, we do a division sign. The 3 is on top, so 3 goes inside. The 8 is on the bottom, so the 8 goes outside, all right? All right, so we cannot divide 3 by 8 because 8's bigger than 3. So 8 goes into 3 0 times. So we have to do a decimal point after the 3. And also put it directly on top, okay? So then we put a 0, okay? 8 goes into 30 3 times because if we do 3 times 8, okay, we get 24, okay? If we did it 4 times, we would get 32, but 32 is too big because the number is only 30, right? So 4 times is too much. So 3 times, right? 3 times 8 is 24. And then we subtract 30 minus 24 is 6, okay? Notice that we have a non-zero remainder, okay? Okay, we did not get 0. So we have to keep going here. We have to create another 0 up here. And then bring down that 0. All right. So now it's, how many times does 8 go into 60? Well, 8 goes into 60 7 times because 7 times 8 is 56, right? And we subtract that. If we subtract, we get 4, okay? We still did not get 0. We got a 4. So we have to keep going. We have to create another 0. So if we have to keep going, we just keep creating zeros, okay? And bringing down the 0. That's 40. So 8 goes into 40 5 times because 5 times 8 is 40. If we subtract that, we get 0. And because we got 0 for the remainder, we're done. So 3 over 8 equals 0.375. And notice, guys, we don't have to write that 0 in front. Okay, we don't have to write that. All we need to write is the numbers after the decimal point. So 0.375, okay? All right, so I'm going to clear the board and do another example. The third example that I'm going to do is 7 over 8, okay? So if we draw the division symbol, 7 goes inside because it's on top, and 8's on the bottom, so 8 goes outside. 8 is bigger than 7, so 8 cannot go into 7. So 8 goes into 7 0 times. We do a decimal point inside and on the top, okay? So decimal point after the 7, which means it also goes on top. So we then do a 0 after the 7, or after the decimal point. 8 goes into 70, okay? So it's 8 into 70. 8 goes into 70 8 times because 8 times 8, right, is 64. Okay, 8 times 8 is 64. We subtract that. We get 6, right? We did not get a remainder of 0. So we have to create another 0. Bring it down to get 60, right? 8 goes into 60 7 times because 7 times 8 is 56. Okay? 8 times would be too much because 8 times 8 is 64, and 64 is bigger than 60, right? So 7 times 8 is 56. We subtract that, we get 4. The remainder is still not 0, so we have to keep going here. We have to create another 0 and bring it down. It's now 40, okay? 8 goes into 40 5 times because 5 times 8 is 40, okay? You subtract that, we get 0. All right, So 7 over 8 equals 0.875, okay? All right, let's do another example. The fourth example that I'm going to do is 1 over 3. So again, if we draw the division symbol, 1 goes inside, 3 goes outside, 3 goes into 1 0 times. So we have to do a decimal point, okay, like that. Then we create the 0 after the decimal. So it's now 3 into 10, right? 3 goes into 10 9 times, whoops, 3 times, because 3 times 3 is 9. We subtract 10 minus 9 is 1. We did not get 0, so we have to create another 0 and bring it down like this, 10. Well, notice that we have 10 again, right? We have 10 again. Well, we started with 10, right? I mean, so if we were to divide this again, 10 divided by 3 is still 3, right? So the 3 here on top is going to repeat, okay? It's going to be 0.33333, right? So if you kept doing this, we keep getting 3, right? You know, 3 times 3 is 9, subtract, we get 1 again. Do a 0, bring it down, get 10. We keep getting 10, right? So 10 divided by 3 is still 3. So this is 0.33333, okay? We can write that. There's a short way to write that. So 1/3 equals 0.3, but because the 3 repeats, we put a bar over the 3, okay? So a bar over the 3 means the 3 repeats, all right? So that's how we write a repeating decimal. So 0.3 with a bar over it means the 3 repeats. 0.3333333. All right, so I'm going to clear the board and do another example with a repeating decimal, okay? Um, 8 over 11. 8 is on top, so if we draw the division symbol, going to put up a little higher this time. The 8 goes inside, and the 11's on the bottom, so the 11 goes outside, okay? 11 cannot go into 8, so 0 times there. And then do a decimal point, inside and on top, and a 0 after the 8, okay? Now it's 11 into 80. Well, okay, so 11 goes into 80 7 times, because 7 times 11 is 77, okay? So if we subtract this, 80 minus 77 is 3, okay? So 3 is not 0, so we have to, so the remainder is not 0, so we have to keep going here. Create a 0, bring it down. 11 into 30. Well, 11 goes into 30 twice, because 2 times 11 is 22. 3 times 11 is 33, but 33 is too big because it's only 30, right? So subtract, and we get 8. Well, notice that we have 8 here, but we start off with 8 here, right? So this pattern's going to keep repeating. So the 7, 2 here will repeat, okay? So this entire pattern from here to here will keep repeating. we're going to get 8, then 3. 8, then, so 8 here, 3 here, right? Then 8, 3, 8, 3. It'll keep going down like that, right? So the 7, 2, 7, 2 will repeat. 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, right? So because the 7, 2 will repeat, 8 over 11 equals 0.72. And we put a bar over both the 7 and the 2. Because the 7 and the 2 repeat. So 7, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, right? So 8 over 11 equals 0.72 repeating. So that's a repeating decimal with a 2-number pattern. So I'm going to clear the board here and do a couple of longer examples, okay? The next example that I'm going to do is 2 over 7, okay? 2 over 7. Draw the division symbol. Two is on top, so 2 inside and 7 outside. So I'm going to need a nice long button division symbol here. Seven goes into 2 0 times. So we need to do a decimal here and there. Create a 0. 7 goes into 20 twice because 2 times 7 is 14. 3 times is too big because 3 times 7 is 21, but it's only 20, right? So 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract that, we get 6, right? Didn't get 0, so we have to create another 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 60 8 times because 8 times 7, okay? 8 times 7 is 56, right? Subtract, we get 4. Didn't get 0, so we have to do a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 40 5 times because 5 times 7 is 35, right? Subtract, you get 5. Create another 0, bring it down. Yeah, it's a bad 0. Seven goes into 50, what, 7 times? Because 7 times 7 is 49. Subtract that, we get a 1. And we're still not getting 0. So we have to keep going. Create a 0. Bring it down. 7 goes into 10 one time. Because 1 times 7 is 7. Subtract, we get 3. Still not getting 0. So we have to create another 0. Bring it down. 30. 7 goes into 30 4 times. Well, 4 times 7 is going to be 28, right? Subtract, we get, running out of room here. We get 2, right? Well, notice that we started out with 2 up here, and we ended up with 2 again down here, right? So this entire pattern here will repeat, okay? So the 285,714 on top here will keep repeating. So 2 over 7 equals 0.285714. 0.14. This entire, all 6 of these numbers repeat. So 0.285714, 285714, 285714, 285714. Okay, that'll keep going, right? Let's do one more example that's long like this, okay? I'm going to clear this. The last example we're going to do is 3/7. So if we draw the division symbol, 3 goes inside. Okay, if we do the division symbol, 3 goes inside, 7 goes outside. 7 goes into 3 0 times. So we have to do a decimal point. Create a 0. 7 goes into 30 4 times because 4 times 7 is 28, right? Okay, so if we subtract this, we get 2. Didn't get 0, so we have to create a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract, we get 6. We didn't get 0, so we have to do another 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 60, 8 times. 8 times 7 is 56, right? This looks very similar to the one we just did, right? Very similar pattern here. So subtract to get 4. Create a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times. Sorry, we're multiplying these numbers by 7 here, right? 5 times 7 is 35. Subtract to get 5. Okay, you have to bring down this 0 here. 7 goes into 8. No, sorry, 7 goes into 50 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. Get 1. Create a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 10 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. And we get 3, right? Okay, notice that we started off with a 3 up here, and we ended up with a 3 down here, okay? So this entire pattern is going to repeat. So 3/7 equals 0.42857. All 6 of these numbers repeat, okay? So 0.428571, 428571, 428571. Okay, so hopefully this helped, guys, with changing a fraction to a decimal. I invite you to go back through this and try these examples on your own, okay? So you get more of a hang of it. All right, guys, have a good day, okay? All right, bye.